everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to create an iOS plugin in Godot game engine to pick documents like PDF, text file, all that stuff. So yeah, let's get started. So firstly, you need to open this particular documentation over here. We will be using this Swift Godot plugin to create a Swift plugin, and based on this particular documentation I have just created one cheat sheet which I will be referring. It's literally the same which is present in the inside our documentation. Now let's get started. So first, as usual, you would require a Mac OS, and you would require Xcode, which should be installed from the Apple App Store. So here I have Xcode. Here you can see that I have also created one empty folder named Godot. You can name it whatever you feel like. The reason I have created it just for organization purpose, because at the end of this tutorial there will be 3 different projects that will be created. That's why I have done this. So once Xcode is open, just click on File, New, Package, then select multi-platform, select library, click next again, and here select Godot, and here you can name this whatever you feel like. I will just name it as my library, but if you name it differently, do remember this name, because this name will be used in lot other places as well. If you are doing this for the very first time, it's better you follow what I'm doing. So I'll just click on create. Now what we need to do is we need to add this dependency array. So if you check the documentation, it says the same thing. So we have already done this step, this as well. So here you can see they are adding this after products array. So just after products array in package.swift, you can just paste this particular bit of code and do command S. So it will automatically install the Swift Godot dependency using Swift package manager for you, as you can see over here. So yeah, next, at the time of me recording this video, Swift Godot still does not support Swift version 6 and above, because Swift version 6 has a lot of new concurrency things. So we'll have to downgrade Swift Godot to use Swift 5.10. So that's what I'm doing over here. Also, if you're watching way in the future after I have published this video, it's better you check the Swift Godot documentation, like the GitHub repository, I mean, whether it supports Swift version 6 or not. But we are not using any fancy features of Swift 6, so it's fine. Then we need to add this platform iOS version 17. So if you see over here, they have added platform macOS version 13, but in our case it will be iOS. So I'll just paste it over here. Minimum deployment, I have kept it as version 17 for iOS, because I was facing a lot of issues if I downgrade the version of for after compiling Swift Godot. So yeah, that's why I've kept the minimum version as 17. Next we need to add this type dynamic. So if you see here, you can see after library name we have to add this. So I'll just paste this bit of code. Make sure you don't forget the comma, and then we have to add this dependencies array again. So if you again see the documentation, after target name they have added this. So after target name I'll just add a comma, and I'll paste this bit of code, and I'll just improve the indentation a bit. So yeah, something like this looks okay. All right, next we need to write the actual code. So for that you will have to go to my library.swift file. Now I will just cheat a little bit. I already have the code written. So yeah, I'll just copy the code, and then I'll explain it to you what exactly I'm doing. So this is just a practice project which I have created. So I'll just copy everything and I'll paste it over here. Now for document picking, I'm only concentrating on 2 files. One is PDF and second one is txt file, but you can you can pick any kind of a document, like maybe an Excel file, or I couldn't really think at top of my head, but yeah, there are a lot of document files which you can pick. I'll tell you, if you want to add more kind of document files, how to do that as well. So here I have imported UIKit, I have imported Swift Godot, and 3 new dependency which you have to add: mobile core services, uniform type identifiers, and PDF kit. Okay, then this is boilerplate code which you have to write to satisfy Swift Godot. Again, this should be your own library name. Then I have created a separate class called document picker manager. So we can't, so if you see, scroll down, there is another class called my library, which this my library will be called from Swift Godot, from our GD script code, sorry. because this is annotated with @Godot. Now we can't directly extend this UI document picker delegate over here, this because that Swift Godot throws a lot of error while compiling. That's why I have to create a separate class which extends NS object and which extends UI document picker delegate. Then here is our presenting view controller. Then I have created few callbacks. One is for PDF selected, one is for text file selected. If you are wanted to support more types of document, you will have to create callbacks for those as well, but for now this is just two. And two for this one is for in case if the user cancels a document picker, does not pick any document. And last one is for error. Inside the init state, we are just initializing our view controller, which we will send it from my library. Then here is a method called present document picker. So here you can see I'm just using UI document picker view controller, and for I'm just concentrating on PDF and plain text. But if you see the documentation, like there are a lot of files, so you can choose whatever you feel like, but these files should be present only in the files app. If they are present in the photos app, you won't be able to pick files using document picker. You will have to use the photo picker, for which I have made separate video. Okay, so yeah, be careful with that. Then I'm setting the delegate allow multiple selection. I have kept it as false, and here I'm just presenting our document picker. Now once the document has been picked, we get the URL over here. So I'm fetching the URL of the first selected document, because we only allow one document to be picked. Then we just convert it to lowercase. Then here I'm just adding switch case to check the file extension. If it is PDF, then I'm calling this on PDF selected callback. If it is txt, then I'm calling this on text file selected and passing the URL. In case if it is nothing of these two, then I'm just saying unsupported file type, but in your case maybe you can add more things. And this is in case the document picker was cancelled, so in that we just call this on document picker cancelled callback. Then here I have this class called my library, which is annotated with @Godot, so that it can be called from GD script side. Then here I have just defined one signal. So signal is basically used for sending data from native iOS side to GD script side. So it is form of string, because I will be only sending the URL path. Okay, then here is our document picker manager, the class which we have defined. And then here we have this pick document method, which we will be calling from GD script side. That's why it is annotated with @callable. Then here we get hold of our root view controller. Then here we just initialize our document picker manager and pass our root view controller. Then we set up the callbacks as well, and then we just call the present document picker from this document picker manager class. Then we have this particular setup document picker callbacks, which I think was called where was this called? Let me check. Yeah, sorry, it was called over here itself. Okay, so here in case if it is PDF, then what I have done for PDF is that I have already made again a separate video on how to display PDF. So I have literally copy pasted. So we will be creating one more file. So we are just instantiating a PDF view controller. So we'll have to create this particular file. We are whatever URL we received from the pick document, we send it to that particular file, and then present our PDF inside a PDF view controller. Okay, as that's why I'm not sending this back to Godot side. But in case of text file selected, I'm not really doing anything. But in case if you want to do it just like I have done it for PDF view controller, you can do it, but you'll have to use something which supports text document. Okay, you can't directly just use PDF view controller for text file as well. So for text file, I'm just sending a signal like whatever is the URL back to Godot side. And in case again for document picker cancelled and document error, again I'm just sending this error. Or okay, then we just need to create this particular file, PDF view controller. I'll just right click, new empty file, and here it is PDF view controller. Okay, then again I'll just copy this code, I'll close these two files, and I'll paste it over here. So yeah, I won't go into the details because I have already made a separate video about this. So all we need to do for displaying PDF is PDF kit, and there is this PDF view. This is this PDF thumbnail view, and this is the URL which we get it from my library. And once this view did load is called, we just initialize our PDF view, add it to our parent view, and once the URL is proper, we just create a document out of it and display it inside our PDF view. And this is for the thumbnail part. and this is the back button just to go back to the previous screen. So and this method is called once you press the back button. So yeah, that's it on this particular file. Then what I'll do, we need to create a build.sh file. Now I'm comfortable creating that file from VS Code. If you want, you can create it from Xcode as well. I'm just not comfortable because I mess things up. So what I'll do is I'll just remove my cheat sheet. I'll go back to the Godot folder and open the Godot folder inside VS Code. You can use any text editor what you feel like. I'll just bring back my cheat sheet as well. Okay, so first we need to create a file called build.sh in my library. So I'll just create this particular file. Then I'll just copy this URL and I'll open it in a new tab. Now we just need to copy all this code and paste it inside build.sh. Then just scroll up, and here you will have to write it as my library because that's the name I gave to our iOS library. And you need to add one more thing, is this dash skip macro validation backward slash. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here as well. Then I'll just open our terminal. I'll just close this build.sh file, we no longer need it. Okay, so I will just go to our library. So go to Godot, go to my library. Okay, and I'll clear everything out. So I'm into my library, and inside this we need to run two commands. So first one is this, which I don't know what it does. I'll just paste it. Then we need to run this. Now this will actually create the iOS frameworks for us, but I'm not planning to deploy this to Apple App Store, so I'm fine with debug frameworks as well. But if you're planning to deploy your app to Apple App Store or a game, you will have to use release instead of debug. That's the only change you will have to do. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Now this will take a bit of time to run, so in the meantime what we can do is open Godot game engine. So at the time of recording this video I'm using Godot 4.4.0, and I'll create a new project. I'll browse to the Godot folder which we have created. Okay, and I'll click on create. Then I'll go to project, export, add, iOS, click on fix import. You have to enter your App Store team ID as well. So you can get your App Store team ID from this particular URL. I will enter mine offline, but it is important you enter your App Store team ID, otherwise you won't be able to export your project. And for bundle identifier you can give it something, whatever, your company name your app name. So I'll just keep things simple. Okay, then I'll close this. I'll create a 2D scene. I'll command S to save it. Okay, and I'll also run this so that my current scene is selected. Otherwise if you directly export without setting a current scene you will face error. Then I will just create one button to pick a document, and one label in case if the user picks a text document or if there is any error, we need to show that particular error, right? So that's why I'm displaying this. I'm getting this label as well. Okay, so I'll just show it over here, and I'll just change the font size. I go to theme override, font size, I'll change it to 40. And here is our button. I'll just click on, I'll just name it as pick document, and I'll just do command S to save. And here is our button. I'll go to node, and here I'll just add this. Okay, I have not created one script, so I'll go over here to node today. I'll create one script. I'll go to our button and I will add the press signal as well. Now again I'll just copy some code from my old project. Over here. Okay, so first I need to copy this. I'll explain it to you, don't worry. So first I'll copy this, and I also need to copy this. Okay, I'll just show it to you. So here you can see that first we have to create a variable called my library, and here we are getting hold of our label of so this particular label which we had created, right? Then inside the ready function we just check for my library. Again, this should be our own iOS library name as well as over here, and here we instantiate our library, and then we just connect our signal to this. Okay, then here I'll just copy this code. and I'll paste it over here. So once we get a signal, we just set the text to our label. Okay, so whatever data we get, we just convert it to string and display it inside our label. Now on the button press, again I'll just copy this, and if you remember, we have a method called pick document, so that's what we are calling over here as well. Then you need to create a folder called bin. I will just create it from okay, let me check where did I create this Godot project. Okay, I created it somewhere else. I thought I created inside a Godot folder. Yeah, I think I named it as new game project. Sorry about this. Like maybe you should have like you should create this inside the same Godot folder. Uh, but yeah, I think it's fine. Anyways, so what we'll need to do is just go to your uh, okay, I'll just open this file again in VS Code. Yeah, sorry about this. Or wait, let what I'll do is I'll just move this inside the Godot folder. Okay, and here is our, I think now this will throw error. Okay, reload from disk. Okay, I'll just I'll just close this. Okay, I think so. I messed it up a little. Sorry about this. So I'll just close this. I'll just go to the Godot folder, new game project, and I'll just open it again in Godot game engine. Okay, so we have all our code, thankfully. Uh, then what I'll do is I'll just create one inside our Godot game project. Okay, I'll just create one folder called bin, and inside that, if you want, you can create this from Godot game engine as well, but I'm more comfortable creating new this kind of files from Xcode, sorry, VS Code dot GD extension. So we have to create this particular file as well. uh, Okay, so one more thing which I wanted to clarify is the reason why I have opened this particular mylibrary.gd extension from VS Code is if you go back to Godot Game Engine, here you can see I'm not able to open this file in Godot Game Engine. That's why I have opened VS Code. Now inside this particular file, again I'll just go back to my cheat sheet, and we need to copy this bit of code. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Okay, once that is done, if you come back to our terminal, here you can see our project was also successfully built. So we can go to our library, go to bin, go to iOS, and just copy these two folders, sorry, dot framework folders. Then go back to our Godot game project, go to bin, and just paste it over here. Okay, so yeah, now let's export our project. So before we export our project, what we need to do is we will create one more folder named iOS. You can again name it whatever you feel like. It's just that after exporting there will be lot of files, that's why I'm creating a separate folder for this. So go back to Godot game engine, go to project, export, and here you just have to click on export project. If you haven't entered your app store team id, you won't be able to export it. Also, if you are trying to generate a release, then you just have to uncheck this option, but for me debug is fine. Then I'll click on save. Now this will take a bit of time to run, so let's just wait for this to finish. Okay, so the project export was successful. Then we can just go back to our iOS folder, go double click on this new xcode proj file, this one. Okay, and it will open it for you in Xcode, and then you just have to run it on your real device. That's it. We don't require any permission as such, as far as I know, but just to show you my info.plist, I don't think we require any permission. Like this, all camera, photo library, microphone, these are present by default when we export our project. Like Godot might decide to remove this in future, but yeah, at least at the time of me recording this video, I don't require this any of this permission. Now let me just mirror my device. Okay, and also make sure you run it on a real device. It will not work on a simulator because of something related to graphics. So yeah, let's just wait. If you want to fast forward the video, you can. Now this particular installation does take a bit of time because we are running the debug mode, that's why. Okay, so I think it's lost connection, but yeah, I am able to see my button. So I have one PDF file as well as text file in my files app. So I'll just click on pick document, and here you can see. So I just select the first. I think it's a PDF file. No, it is a text file. So here you can see I'm just getting text file selected, sample 3.txt. Now you might be wondering why I'm not getting the full URL. So if you see our code, if I go back to my library, if I go to my library code, here you can see I'm just sending the last path component. If you want to send the whole URL, you can send it like this. So yeah, just be careful over here. That's what I'm saying. And now let's for looks for PDF documents. So again, I'll click on PDF. I'll select the second file, and here you can see it has opened PDF for me. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.